When the night got cold, you told you fire from down below. Look at that, yo. Oh, also I laugh, so the sun to stretch the days and bring you fun. Also I harness the breeze. You're welcome to fill your sails and take your breeze. So what can I say except you're welcome? For these islands are pulled from the sea. There's no need to pray, it's okay. You're welcome. Ha, I guess it's just my way of being me. You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, here's the thing of it. Honestly, I could go on and on. I can explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the glass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I killed an eel, I buried its guts. Sprouted a tree and got something else. Worked for less. And what does it take away? Don't mess with Maui when he's on the breakaway. And the tapestry here in my skin is a map of the victories I win. Where I did, I make everything happen. Look at that. Mini Maui. Well, anyway, let me say you're welcome. Stay out of it, or you're sleeping in my home. You stop that.
For success with a range of collaboration solutions like webcams and headsets for the home office or meeting room bundles for the conference room. Logitech also works seamlessly with the video conferencing software you're already using like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet. Learn more at logitech.com/VC.
Most of my friends laughed when one time after school in 3rd grade, I casually mentioned that I wanted to be an ice cream man. I felt embarrassed, but I thought their job was the best. They would drive around the streets handing delicious treats to the neighborhood kids. But then, my whole life changed. My younger sister wanted some ice cream one summer afternoon, but I didn't want to come outside. I was hooked on a new video game that my dad had bought me, and I think I didn't want to go because I didn't know how to pause it yet. I yelled for my sister to grab the dollar bill in the jar by my bed and to not touch anything else. Excitedly, she asked me what I wanted and if the ice cream man would give her any change. She didn't know how to count money very well at the time. I told her that the total would be 50 cents and to bring the change back. That it should be 2 quarters. With a big smile, she ran outside. I eventually lost at the game I was playing and put the controller down and went outside. The ice cream truck was turning the corner without the music on. I didn't know that I would be the last person to ever see my sister again. What followed was a mix of police reports, journalists calling and visiting my mom and dad, and sad stares of people feeling sorry for me everywhere I went. The same ice cream man stopped passing by our street and was later caught and interrogated by the police as a prime suspect. But my sister would never be found. My parents would sit with me in doctor offices as they asked me questions about what I was thinking and dumb questions about my favorite games and favorite toppings on pizza. I don't remember much of the rest of elementary school. All I recall was thinking that I didn't want to be an ice cream man anymore.
Yeah? What's wrong with that?
This sounds like something I would say to my grandmother.
Excuse me?
Yes, I loved you. Mwah. It's not
Okay, dude,
bad.
Success with a range of collaboration solutions like webcams and headsets for the home office or meeting room bundles for the conference room. Logitech also works seamlessly with the video conferencing software you're already using like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet. Learn more at logitech.com/VC.
The creepiest thing that has happened in my life took place back when I had checked into an extended stay hotel/apartment when I was on assignment in Canada. I was fresh out of college. Nothing was more exciting than going out for my first adult job to document material for a local newspaper. The team that had went out was small, just the video and sound guy, the broadcaster, and myself, that served as a writer and photographer. We each got placed in the same apartment complex. I believe we had ties to our studio and they knew us. The others seemed to be familiar with the area already, from the many times they had stayed at the same place. Each mini apartment had its own kitchen and studio setup. There was a huge window that had a beautiful view of the forest and mountains in the distance, all partially blocked by a concrete brick building that was being constructed in the lots behind it. What a waste, I remember thinking to myself. A new set of buildings would completely destroy the views of the tenants of this place. Originally, I had been given the keys to a place across the parking lot, to the studios that faced the main road. So I was happy to have switched with one of the other guys. I had finished the first interviews for the day, and we had scouted and secured a place for the second set of interviews for the following one. We all still had a lot of material to sift through, and I had to do some editing. So we all just sort of stopped talking at one point after realizing all the stuff we had to finish by tomorrow. And pretty quietly, we just picked up our equipment, paid, and left the restaurant. It was still early, maybe around 8 p.m., when I noticed just how dark the area outside my window was. It was an odd sense of comfort knowing that I was in a warm apartment right by a dark forest. Next to our complex was a small shopping center with a convenience store, a gas station, and other smaller shops just along the sidewalk. And I decided to go get some snacks and a toothbrush. I used to forget things all the time. So I put on my shoes and a jacket and started walking along the road. No sounds of busy highways, no sounds of sirens or helicopters. It was nice. But then I noticed something as soon as I stepped on the path next to the empty highway. There was a sound of beeping off into the distance. Like the kind you'd hear of computer signals, of errors, and in no particular pattern. It didn't get louder, it didn't stop. It was just there. I got to the store, I got my stuff, and walked back, followed by those beeps. Could it be someone's alarm? Well, that's what it sounded like a smoke detector that was running out of batteries with that annoying beep. Except, these started randomly. I'm not sure if it was me trying to act like a mature adult to myself, since I was known around my friends to be a scaredy cat. But I try not to think about it too much. Yet I do remember picking up the pace to get back to my unit. I stayed up late, like too late. Sleep on time anyway. The whole time I heard the beeping. Non-stop. At times it seemed to get louder. But when I really stopped what I was doing to pay attention to it, I noticed that it actually wasn't. I looked out the window to see where it was coming from, and the only thing I noticed was a tiny flashing light coming from the construction site across the lot, right outside my window. Maybe it was some type of security device. I think that was all the reassurance I needed, because soon after, I started getting drowsy and got ready to go to sleep. But man, that first night was what I still remember more vividly. Sometime during the night, I woke up to look over to the kitchen area. The beeping had gotten loud enough to wake me up. One of the lights was on, the one right over the tiny stove that was in the room. when, through the smaller window by the kitchen, I saw a leg, a skinny one, of someone crawling inside. An arm soon followed. The face was what creeped me out the most. It was one of a skinny bald man, wrinkled and as pale as can be. Too many teeth in his mouth. The beeping got louder and louder. I was paralyzed and literally could not move or turn my head or scream as I saw him reach for one of the drawers to take something out of it. And then before twisting himself to reach back to the window, first with his left leg, then with both arms as he crawled back out. It was hours before I was able to move again, and I just stayed there, in the dark area of the unit, looking toward the kitchen until the sky started turning blue again. Had I really seen what I thought I had seen? So many things ran through my head all night. Who could I tell about it? Had I been dreaming? I got up and ready to grab a coffee in the lobby area, staying a safe distance away from that kitchen window. Rough night, I heard from behind me. It was Ricky, one of the guys from my team. Yeah, I told him. Creepy as heck, I want to move somewhere else, I said, trying to make it sound like I was joking, yet still wanting him to believe me. He looked at my face, studying it. I was never good at lying, or pretending to lie, which I guess would also be lying. You switched with John, didn't you? He said quietly. He was right. I had switched from the unit that faced the highway in order to have a quieter place. But I also would have expected beeping sounds the whole night. Things get a little clearer after drinking coffee. It allows me to imagine the skin
Mexico. And without obsession, you can't push past the ordinary limits of possibility. Don't be afraid to fail.
At Lexus, they've gone all in on their passion, designing a pure sports sedan, the new Lexus IS. Designed to look as thrilling as it is to drive. Learn more at lexus.com/IS.
There's a chain of supermarkets here in Southern California called Food for Less, where I started working back when I was younger. A lot of my coworkers were older than me, But man, did they like to joke around with everybody. Even though I didn't understand a lot of Spanish, I started getting the hang of it pretty quickly. It was a cool place to work because of the people there. I was in charge of stocking cans and packaged foods early in the mornings, and I worked fast. The manager or shift leader, and 2 stockers on the floor, so 4 of us total. The managers would normally stay in the front or in the warehouse before anyone else got there, while the 2 of us who were doing the stocking went to get the lists and to load up our carts with the inventory we were assigned. The people who stocked up during the late shift would normally do most of the work, and all they had to do was finish whatever they had set aside. One morning, I came in a little late, by around 10 minutes. I clocked in and then walked through the checkout lanes to go to the back part of the store, by the freezers and by the warehouse. But as I was walking through the aisles, I spotted my coworker standing looking toward the shelves, and I passed by to say hello. But he beat me to it, and he said, "And hey, can you also